I was working on something. I'm like, oh my God, it's 1 o'clock. So I'm like 3 minutes late, right? Which never happens, right? Anyway, hope you guys are doing well. Today is, yeah, it's time for On Air with Russell of Hotels. Now, this is the monologue first, then I'll, do the intro and then we'll get into the show, right? But let me just make sure I have my chat on so you guys can make your comments and all that good stuff. Let me make sure I am transmitting live, on the platforms that I'm on. Hold on 1 second. I did not start my. See, that's the thing when you rush to do things, and I was prepared, right? I was on top of things, but you forget to push a certain button, right? And that's the record button. So, but that's okay because this is the monologue. The show won't start actually until I do the intro. So we're good. We're good. So once again, the comments are on. I engage. I engage. I encourage engagement. And happy Tuesday to everybody. I'm sorry. Happy Tuesday, February 6th. This is show number 239 on air with Russell of Hotels. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly of hospitality. More good than anything, okay? So don't fret, okay? But anyway, let me do because I got a couple of things I want to go over. And one thing is like in addition to something I talked about last week as far as like interviewing, but now I have a list of things that you can ask, right? There's questions you should ask on an interview, but there's questions you shouldn't ask, right? Like say when they ask you, why'd you leave your last job? I'm only going to focus on what you should say today, right? Because I have other topics that I want to get to, but these are going to be what you should say. But I'm going to do those right after the intro. Okay, so you guys stick tight or stay tight. Sit tight and I'll be right back in a minute. So I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to hit a couple of buttons, and we're going to make it happen, okay? So let me just make sure I'm queued up. So anyway, okay, I'll be right back. Let's see. And 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to On Air with Russell of Hotels, where we talk about everything hospitality, from hotels to influencers and everything in between. We will feature guest interviews with hospitality professionals who will share their experiences. Your host, Russell Edmond, has spent over 25 years in the hospitality industry, beginning his career with Marriott International in hotel operations, before moving into the sales arena and becoming a relationship-building director of sales and marketing. Russell then went to the other side as a hospitality entrepreneur. He now consults in the hotel and meeting space, which includes being the CEO of Russell of Hotels Group. Did I mention he was a veggie foodie? Yes. Russell is always looking for good non-meat eats. Please welcome your host, Russell Edmond.
Hello again, and thank you so much for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels, that live hospitality talk show. Everybody's talking about it. Today is show number 239. Happy Tuesday to everybody. Hope your week is going well. Here in LA, if you live in LA, you know what I'm about to say, right? It's raining. It's been raining for the last 3 days. Started on maybe late Saturday through Sunday through yesterday. It stopped for a little bit today. I actually went to the store. I'm like, oh, okay, we've got a break in action. Let me go to the store. And then it starts raining again. I think it was going to break up and, the clouds are going to break up and the rain is gone. But no, it's back now. So right before I started this show, I looked outside and I can see, water coming down. And it's not like it's sprinkling. I mean, it's raining, okay? It's been steady rain. And I guess you can just look on the TV or look on the internet weather in LA and you'll see all the issues that we're having. It's a state of emergency I think, in Southern California area. So things are, we're not used to getting a lot of rain, right? So people don't know how to act when it does rain. But anyway, but if you don't have to be on the road, stay home. That's what I'm gonna say. All right, just stay home. You don't have to be on the road. I didn't have to be on the road. I went to the store, which is literally right down the street. So maybe not even maybe about a mile and a half. Okay. But I said, it's a break in action. Let me just go and do this. And there was no one in the store. I went to Trader Joe's. There was literally the parking lot was empty. So anyway, I don't normally go shopping anyway, but anyway, I had to do it today. So anyway, hope you guys are doing well. Show number 239. This right here, the scene, for people just now joining for the first time, right? I normally show scenes. Every scene that I change, it's a different, it could be a different hotel, different, destination, whatever. So this happens to be the Grand Bohemian Lodge in Greenville, South Carolina. You guys know I was in South Carolina a couple of weeks ago, and this is one hotel I didn't show yet, right? This is the Grand Bohemian. So several of the photos and videos will be of this particular property. I think I shared maybe I didn't share them here, but I shared the specifics of the hotel, I think yesterday on my daily check-in. So I do On Air with Russell of Hotels and a daily check-in too. So I do the daily check-in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And I do On Air with Russell of Hotels every Tuesday at 1 o'clock PST. So now you're caught up, right? Now you know exactly what I do. And I welcome engagement. I welcome comments. So feel free to make your comments. I will address the comments. I will actually put them on the screen so everybody can see them, right? Let's see who they come from, see who's saying whatever the heck they're saying. But we're live on, and hopefully I get this right. I keep forgetting. It's LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, which is X, and then Instagram. So live on all those platforms, at the same time, right? Leaving last year, I said, you know what? I got to do things a little different. I got to shake some things up. I need to reach more people. And that's what I did. I said, you know what? I got to bite the bullet, pay the extra for the, because you get free with the platform that I use. You get 2 free platforms that you can basically transmit your show to. Well, I said I wanted 5, right? So I need at least 5. So that's what I did. So I went ahead, paid the money for that. I don't know how long I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? If my money gets funny, then I have to stop. Okay. So, but at least I'm gonna do 2. But I said, you know what? Let me start off the year, at least the first quarter, with 5 at one time. You can do up to 8, right? So I'm like, what are the other 3? I'm already doing 5. What the heck else I need to do? But anyway, that is it. So let me jump into the sponsor here. Excuse me. That's Level Hotel, downtown LA. A lot of stuff going on downtown LA. Just had the Grammys there. The Lakers play downtown. The convention center's down there. In fact, I was just there at the convention center on Saturday for the travel show, LA Travel Show. I was there for that, checking things out. It was interesting. It was kind of cool. Not as big as what I thought it was. Not as many vendors or exhibitors, I guess you will, that I had anticipated. And one thing that was missing, and it was noticeably missing, no destinations from the Midwest through the East Coast. I mean, there's a lot of West Coast. There's a lot of, Caribbean, Mexico, California, West Coast, of course, that kind of stuff. Hawaii, Asia, things like that. But nothing as far as, like, say, if you want to just do, I just want to do domestic travel. Okay. I want to New York, the Poconos, things like that. Those weren't represented. Canada was represented though. So it was interesting. It was definitely entertaining. Okay. So had a couple hours to kill and, we're there about 4 hours. So, hey, there you go. And then after that, went to eat and had some great Chinese food, right? It's because we went to say, while we're down here in downtown, might as well go to Chinatown, right? Boom, there you go. Killed 2 birds with 1 stone. So, but it was all good. But anyway, Staying Level is downtown, located downtown. See how I just easily get sidetracked, right? But StayingLevel.com is the website. Use the promo code ROH23. Get that discount that I would normally get. Level Los Angeles. The good thing about this hotel is that they're 1, 2, and 3 bedroom hotels. The square footage starts off at 700 square feet. Okay, your typical hotel room is 300 to 350 square feet. That's like the average. That's kind of average in between there somewhere. But this is 700 square feet for a 1 bedroom. I mean, a legitimate 1 bedroom like condo. Okay, room closes off, has a door, all that stuff. Because sometimes we have these hotel rooms, we have suites. Well, it's not a door that closes off one room from the next, right? It's just like maybe a partition or maybe just a walkway or whatever. No, this is legitimate closed off. You know what I mean? Comes with a full kitchen, comes with washer and dryer, as well as all the rooms have balconies. Hey, you don't have to worry about, well, he got a balcony, I didn't get one. What the heck's going on? No, all your group gets a balcony. Okay, so any questions at all, just feel free to reach out to me. I'll give you my contact information at the end, but I'm a resource, right? So I'm not just a resource here in Los Angeles, but a resource throughout the United States as well as, if not the world, right? I've done things in other countries. Mainly I've done things in Greece as well as Italy, so, and Mexico. So there you go. So just let me know if you have any questions at all. Groups are 10 rooms or more, just so you know, right? So there you go. This is the convention center in Greenville. Did you know Greenville, South Carolina has probably about, and I may have mentioned this last week, the population is like 70,000 people. They have a convention center that's 550,000 square feet. Okay, I was like, okay, I'm digging that. So they're geared up for larger, conventions for their destination. Just for a point of reference, because I know someone's going to ask or somebody's thinking this. Well, how big is the one in Los Angeles? They have like 4 million people. Yeah, we have 4 million people here, and the size of the convention center is 750,000 square feet. So we're only 200,000 square feet more, and we got like 3.5 million more people. So I'm just throwing that out there because I knew someone was going to ask that. Somebody was thinking that. So just thought I'd just kind of give you a point of reference, just so, and I'm going to hear it for that, but that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. So anyway, I normally have like a topic, but before I get into this, let me back up here. I forgot. Okay, so there was one thing that I wanted to mention, and this is everything comes because either it's based on my experience or I just finished having a conversation with somebody, just having a conversation to someone about something, and what came up was this person's having an interview later, so good luck to her, right? But this is the thing, sometimes you always get this question: why did you leave your last job? Okay, always get that question, right? Well, why'd you leave? Sometimes people that don't know the hotel industry, and this is just me saying this, people that don't know the hotel industry, because this is never an issue when I used to interview people. When I, was hiring people when I was a director of sales and marketing or general manager, is because I guess I came from this thought was my thought as well, right? So sometimes we look at resumes and we see, oh my God, this person has moved around, right? Moved around quite a bit. Well, I don't know what quite a bit is, right? But just remember that we just came out of a pandemic, right? Where people were losing their jobs, people were getting laid off, and then never got a chance to get their jobs back, right? So that's something that people should know about, right? Okay, well, the pandemic hit and, they cut my job. I mean, what can you do about that, right? Well, sometimes, we've been to a job maybe a year, maybe 18 months, and then like, well, you seem to jump around a lot. You were on one job for a year, then another job for 18 months, another job for a year. I'm like, to me, that's normal, right? Because if you look at my career, I spent a total of probably I think it averaged out to about 18 months per job, right? Now, some of those were within the same company, because you got to remember, management companies have multiple hotels, right? And within the city, I live in LA, right? So if I live in LA my entire career, within my, around my house, there's like 50 to 75 hotels within an hour drive of where I lived, right? So it's easy to move around, right? Stay in one house and move around. Well, a lot of those hotels, or several of those hotels, they could have been corporate properties, and they, I just moved from location to location, or they could have been franchise properties where they're managed by a management company that has different brands, right? I'll just give an example. Back when I worked for it, it's now Aimbridge. It was called Interstate Hotels before, right? Well, Aimbridge and Interstate managed damn near every hotel that wasn't corporate run by Marriott, right? So every hotel almost every hotel they managed, right? So it could have been a Hilton, it could have been a Marriott, it could have been a Radisson. I don't care what it was. It could have been a Hyatt, but they are all managed by that particular company. So internally, it's okay. But once you leave that company, you go outside to maybe an independent hotel company or whatever, a smaller management company. Now they're going to ask, well, why did you move around? Well, I say, well, it's still within the same family. It's just that an opportunity came up, and I went ahead and took that particular, opportunity, right? So these are some things. I don't know why I said that, but sometimes people do look. They look at your resume and they say, people that maybe haven't been in the industry as long as some of us have been, they don't understand. Back when I came up, if you didn't move around, you would be passed over for jobs. And sometimes that gets ingrained in you, and like, okay, every 18 months there's an opportunity come up. And then what I quickly learned that if you stay at one hotel for too long, you're only going to get that cost of living increase. But if you move around, you're going to get, cost of living increase is like, what is that, 2.5%, 3.5%, something like that. Sometimes you get 4%, but normally you don't even get that high. But if you moved around, the average was between 8% and like 10, sometimes even 11% if you moved around. So why wouldn't you, if you want to make more money, you could have made more money. You just had to move around a lot. So there you go. Things have changed a little bit, but these are questions that you should ask, or how you should answer certain questions, right? So when asked why you left your last job on interview, it's essential to provide a thoughtful and tactful response that focuses on your professional growth and career objectives. So here's a couple of things you should say. So why did you leave your last job? I was seeking new opportunities for career growth and development. Boom. Okay. What's another one? I wanted to explore roles that align more closely with my long-term career goals. Okay, I like that. Positive change in career path. I was looking for a new challenge that would allow me to expand my skills and experience. I wanted to transition into a different industry sector that I'm more passionate about. Okay, so these are, these are not all related to hotels, of course, right? What about, people are talking this, I'm seeking a better work-life balance. I decided to pursue opportunities that offer a better work-life balance, allowing me to focus on personal priorities. So, okay, that could be, someone could say, oh, well, they just want to spend more time with family. So that can be kind of misconstrued, but we hear that a lot, especially in the media, on TV, like we want to concentrate on, we want more of a work-life balance structure. And that's a legitimate answer, right? But I guess it just depends on how the person doing the interview accepts that, okay? But I just gave you a couple, just examples of how you could answer that. So there you go. I see Miss Janie, that's called prejudgment most of the time, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, you're right. But hey, there you go. But yeah, sometimes it's going to come across like that. But yeah, but those are just some questions, or those are just some ways you can answer some of those questions. I mean, you do whatever you do, whatever feels good to you. But yeah, but never, one thing that you would never do is like badmouth the last job that you had, okay? Because that comes across negative, and no one wants that kind of energy, okay? So I'm not gonna go into all the other ones that I came up with as far as negative. What you shouldn't say, but let's just focus on what you should say, okay? But definitely don't say, this is something that you should not say, oh, well, I didn't get along with my boss. Oh, my last general manager was a jerk. You know what I mean? We had a bunch of idiots there. Hotels sucked. That kind of stuff. I wouldn't say those things, okay? But anyway, let's get back to the hotel sucks. So, Janie, thank you so much. She said, great examples. Appreciate you, Janie. Oh, I'm trying to move that. So, okay, there you go. So that's going to disappear in a minute. So, okay, so the topic I had for today was building your brand via social media, right? So a lot of people will say, oh, the new buzzword is your personal brand, building your personal brand. I guess you can take that as building your personal brand as well. But I'm just going to say building your brand via social media. There's three things. I mean, there's a lot of things you should kind of concentrate on. I'm not concentrating on all the other things. I'm concentrating on the three things that are going to be like kind of a reoccurring theme. Okay, so I'm only focusing on three things today. And what are those three things, you say, Russell? Oh my God, what are you talking about now? Okay, let me just put this one. Yeah, thank you, Janie. Appreciate the hand claps. Appreciate that. So, okay, so the three things, building your brand via social media, because you guys know I'm a big proponent of building your brand on social media. Now, if anybody knows about building a brand, it's me, okay? Because I started off with nothing. I was no one. Well, some may say, well, you still no one. Okay, that's fine. You know what? I'll accept that. I see that hand raised in the back saying that, but that's okay, right? But this is what I did, right? So there's three things that regardless, there's other things, there's, more presence on social. I mean, I can go on and on and on with certain things, but these are the three things that everyone is going to have to do when you first start your brand is be you, right? I always say be authentic, right? I say this in every live that I do, everything that I send out, I'm always talking about being yourself, right? If that means you're jovial, you joke, you laugh, you like to have a good time, show that, right? Don't try to come on and be serious if that's not you, right? Now, every now and then, you got to be serious, and I understand that. Even me, I got to be serious every now and then, right? But, and a lot of times I am. I mean, the subjects are serious, but it's just about how you deliver the stuff, right? But you got to be you, right? You can't be someone else. You cannot watch other podcasts or other shows and say, oh, I want to be like him, or I want to be like her. No, be like you. Because no one could take you away from you, right? No one can ever take how your experiences, right? So you got to base things on you, on your experience, how you are, your personality, all that stuff. This is a time to let your personality, whatever it is, you're a jerk, you're a jerk. If you're happy-go-lucky, then be happy-go-lucky. If you're serious all the time, like, oh my God, I can't, then be that, okay? But don't try to be something that you're not, right? So, I mean, there's many podcasts that I look at that are hospitality related. And a lot of the shows I look at, they're great shows, right? They have great topics, right? But I am not trying to be like them, okay? And they're not trying to be like me. They may watch me and say the same thing, like, oh, this is good. He made a good point, blah, 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 blah. Only thing I look at for just to kind of look at timing and things like that, how long they spend on certain times. Do they use a script? Things like that. That's the only thing that I would kind of look at and try to learn about a process and how they're doing things. But as far as trying to be them, no. You can never be anyone else but yourself because we all come from different walks of life. We have different experiences. All that stuff is different. So just be you, right? That's it. That's all I can say, be you. The second one is tell your story. What is your story? No two people got in this industry alike, and I'm no exception, right? I got in this, this industry through, I went to school first, right? But I didn't know what the heck I wanted to do. I still didn't know, to this day, I still don't know what I want to do. But I went to school for it, right? I was trying to figure out, like, school of business, that I want to do marketing, business management, operation management, all these kind of things, CIS, computer information system. I'm like, that's not me. So I started taking, after several years of being in school in several different schools, I started looking at different majors, right? And I came across this thing called hospitality management. Well, actually, then it was called what was it called? HRT, Hotel Restaurant Travel Management. That's what it was called, HRT. That was the acronym. Everything is an acronym, right? Hotel Restaurant and Travel Management. Well, I knew I didn't want to work in a hotel. I mean, I knew I didn't want to work in a restaurant because the only thing I concerned about a restaurant was the food. I just wanted to eat, right? I don't want to work there. But I wanted to learn about a hotel. Okay, so I took some classes. And the funny thing is, my first class was not even, my first several classes had nothing to do with hotels. They had everything to do with food and beverage. Well, I said, okay, well, in order for me to get in this, that was part of it, right? So I wanted to learn a little bit, as much as I could, to be dangerous on food and beverage and move on to hotels. So then finally, I started taking hotel classes. And then from there, that was my love, right? And when it came to marketing a hotel, oh my God, sales and marketing, that was me, right? That was all me. So that's part of my story. And you have to tell your story. How did you transition from school to what was your first job? I started as a housekeeping manager with Marriott back in the day, right? With Courtyard by Marriott. That was my first job. LAX and El Segundo. That was my first job as a housekeeping manager. So I worked from there to the front office, then on and on and on. I left Marriott after 4 years and went to a Sheraton in Sacramento, actually in Rancho Cordova. I couldn't even find a job, right? It took me like a year and a half of being in Sacramento to find this job, and I stayed with that company for like 5 years. That's my longest stint in one company, but two different hotels, right? But it was the greatest experience, right? So that's part of my journey, and I make sure I tell those stories, right, of how I started, how I transitioned from being a director of sales and marketing to starting this thing called which eventually ended up being Russell of Hotels, right? It wasn't Russell of Hotels before. It started off as something else. So it just morphed into that. One day it just hit me, boom. I need a name to start this brand. And I need a company name that has my name in it somehow. So I came up with Russell of Hotels. So I pitched this name to a couple of different people. They were marketing people, right? And I gave them, didn't you work at Domino's until you found a job? Yes. I said, I wasn't even going to mention that. So you always got to have somebody that throws everything out there. I wasn't even going to focus on that. But I guess that food and beverage experience that I learned at Cal Poly, it came in handy. Yes, my sister just had to remind me that, okay, between when I left Marriott and got a job at the Sheraton in Sacramento, I had two jobs actually, Marcia. So I started off with Ryder Distribution Resources because that was a job I had in college. It was basically logistics between, delivering things from point A to point B, right? So I was in logistics for Ryder, the truck rental company, but they had a logistics department, or a segment of Ryder was logistics, right? So I worked there through my college years, my last couple years in college, and then when I graduated from Cal Poly, I was still doing some part-time work when I started working with Marriott. Then that kind of phased out. But then after I left Marriott, like 3-4 years later, I still had some contacts there, and I was relocating, and I couldn't get a job in the hotel. So I was like, well, what else do I know? I said, well, I know logistics. So I started working with Ryder Distribution Resources. Well, that didn't work out because I was driving from Sacramento to San Francisco. And this was the thing that broke the straw that broke the camel's back. I had a blowout on the Bay Bridge. I was driving, from from Sacramento to San Francisco, coming to work. I had to leave at 4:30 in the morning, right? It's like an hour and a half drive. Then it was an hour and a half. I can only imagine what it is now. And I had to cross the Bay Bridge every day, twice a day. I had a blowout. I don't think, and I told many people this, right, the story. I don't think I've ever been as afraid in my life as I was then. Because if you've been on the Bay Bridge, there's no shoulder that you can drive off and change your tire. Oh, no. They don't want you to do that. They said, get out, hit the call box button, and then Caltrans, who is located at the bottom of the bridge, they will come up immediately and tow your car off and change your tire for you because it's too dangerous. And it's foggy, and I can hear the fog horns and all that, and diesel trucks are just vroom, 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 vroom. It's only 4 lanes on that thing, right? So I'm in the lane that's the farthest to the right, of course, right? You would think it was a shoulder, but it's not a shoulder. So I'm like, I was so freaked out by that. I went in there the next day or the same day after I got my tire changed. So you know what? I'm done. I ain't working. I'm not working here anymore. So and then I found a job as a manager of a Domino's Pizza, right? So I started off as a manager trainee, but I ended up getting my own store, right? So that's how I really know Sacramento. It had to do with Domino's Pizza, right? Because I used to deliver and I worked at different stores, and I knew, because at that point before that, I didn't really know how to get around Sacramento, although Sacramento's not that big. But now I go back there now and I'm like, oh yeah, you go here. I give people directions, right? Like as if I'm a native there, because I lived there for 4 years, right? So, but yeah, so thank you, Marsha. I appreciate you sharing that story with me, reminding me that I did work for Domino's. Yeah, I worked for Domino's, I guess about a year, maybe close to a year, and then I got the job with Sheraton, and I was like, boom, out of there. I said, hey, thanks for the opportunity, Mr. Domino, but I gotta go, right? So, but I ate so many pizzas and made pizzas and slapping in the dough and all this kind of stuff. Oh yeah, it was fun. It was actually kind of fun. It was actually kind of fun. So yeah, but the stuff that I learned in some of these food and beverage classes, I did apply that to Domino's when I got there, right? And people were like, "How did you know this stuff, right? You said you never worked in a restaurant before." I said, "Well, I never have, but I went to school for this, so I kind of knew." So there you go. So that's yeah, we all got to start somewhere. But I have not shared that story in a while. So yeah, Marsha, thank you very much for sharing that story or reminding me of that story, that Domino's Pizza thing. But yeah, I worked at Domino's Pizza. I was a heck of a manager, boy. I mean, we're making bonuses and they're paying money like crazy there. But I say, you know what, it's not long term for me. Okay, so there you go. No shame. Oh no, no shame at all. No, that was part of where I came from. That's part of the story. So make sure you tell the story because someone out there didn't know about it or someone needed to hear that. Okay, so just remember that. And yeah, I have no shame about any of my experiences, anything that I did, career wise, because it was all a stepping stone to somewhere, right? So sometimes we look at, we don't start a lot these days. People want to start at the top, right? Well, like you can't start at the top. You gotta wait. You basically gotta get experience. You gotta gain your experience, and then you apply that experience to somewhere else, right? So there you go. I mean, whether if that's housekeeping, if that's didn't have to go back and then start at a restaurant as a trainee, then do it. Okay, let's just do it and make it happen. Because I had my eye on something else. It wasn't that, but I knew in order for me to get to that next step, I had to continue that. And plus, I I was married, so shoot. I think Sonia was in law school then, so she wasn't working, so somebody had to work, right? So there you go, right? So that's the story. It's the story. Okay, so be you, tell your story. I'm sorry, I didn't know the story was gonna take that long. And be consistent. Always be consistent. So meaning when you start this journey starting your brand on social media, you have to be consistent. I mean, the prime example was I do this show every Tuesday, right? When I don't do this show, I do the daily check-in, right? So 5 days a week. If you think you're getting tired of me now, or you're tired of me with me just doing it every Tuesday, well, guess what? I do 5 shows a week now. I do Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, daily check-in with Russell of Hotels. I do once a week on air with Russell of Hotels every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. That's the show that we're on now, right? For the last 200 and whatever shows, I can't remember, I only did once a week every Tuesday on air with Russell of Hotels. But I said, that's not enough. That's not enough for me to get my brand out there. It's not enough for me to build this brand. So I had to continue to do more. So like I said, 5 days a week. If I could do 7 days, I probably would. But, right now, 5 days is enough, I think. But yeah, but you have to have things to talk about. Every time that you come out, you have to have something to talk about. You got to be credible. I like to call myself a resource, right? So a lot of things I talk about, people can ask me, people that need something within this space, they can contact me, right? I get calls now all the time. People are interviewing for jobs. Hey, do you know anybody at this hotel? Do you know what they're going to ask me? Can you make a phone call for me? Can you forward the resume for me? Because a lot of times we apply, but it doesn't go anywhere. It's always good to know someone there. And that way you can basically speed up the process, if you will. At least you bypass part of it. You still got to do the application, all that once you get to the interview part. But you can bypass, maybe a few steps if you know someone there. So that's why it's always good to network with people, communicate with people, let people know what you're doing now and what you want to do. Let people know what your goals are. You know what I mean? A lot of people share those things with me. First thing I'll ask, like, what are you trying to achieve? Like say, hey, I'm looking for this job, blah, 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 blah. Well, what are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to get? Where are you now? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be in 5 years or whatever? Well, and then let me help you, maybe I can help you with those steps to get there. Because no one sat down with me and said, hey, this is a blueprint to where you want to be. No, things just happen right now. With Marriott, I did have someone asked me, I did a podcast with somebody last week, and they asked me, can you name some people that help you during your journey? And I'm like, yeah, I can, because I don't forget. First of all, I don't forget people, right? Especially the people that help me out. I remember the two people that got me the job, the first two people that I interviewed with. Just check this out. The two people that I met at the job fair at Cal Poly Pomona. Okay, and on the quad you have everybody has a 6-foot table. All these different companies are represented, and I remember meeting Bridget Billings and Sam Veneziano. Okay, those are people that, oh my God, we got to have you, that kind of thing. I gave my resume. Okay, we're going to interview you next week. Blah 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 blah. They set up everything right based on that one encounter. Right. So, of course, I'm never going to forget them because, it's been 30 years and I have not forgot who they are. They can walk in now and I know who the heck they are. Right. So they were instrumental in me getting the job with Marriott. So those two, Joe Carrillo, Joe Tatizian, Stefan Bojalian, Ricky Hopkins, Joe Phillips, Mark McKenzie, those are people that are instrumental in where I am today because I'm just mentioning people's names, right? But those people helped me somewhere, right? They helped me to get to where I am today, right? So whatever position it was, Ron Berger, okay, gave me my first job in Sacramento. If it wasn't for Ron Berger, I don't know I would have been still at Domino's, okay? I'll be still slapping pot. I may own a couple of franchises too, though, but hey, that's okay. That was not my goal, right? My goal was to get back in the hotels and to make an impact there, right? So I mentioned about 5-6 people's names, right? But those people, Jim Schichter, who gave me opportunity with Broughton Hotels. So those are Larry Broughton, the owner, CEO, president, founder of Broughton Hotels. Those are people that help me out. Yeah, I remember people. When people ask me, I'm like, oh, yeah, these people help me out because you have to have people. You have to have mentors in your life. And mentor doesn't mean, they got to be older than you. Some of these guys were younger than me, but they helped me out. That's the thing. We sometimes get caught up in, he's younger and blah, blah, blah. He's trying to take my job. No. First of all, you got to get that out of your mind that people are trying to take your job. People are trying to help you. A lot of people are trying to help you. Sometimes we pay, how you sometimes you miss out on blessings because you're getting caught up on some negative stuff, right? So that's how I look at it. I've never been negative. If someone wants to help me, someone's going to give me information. I don't care how old they are. Give me some information so I can rise up, right? So anyway, getting back to being the brand. You don't look a day over 35. Anyway, whatever. So thank you, Cousin Jackie. So be you, tell your story, and be consistent. So consistently, I don't know how I got on talking about, peers and people to help me out, but be consistent. And what I mean by that, post often, make your videos, whatever that is. If you don't know where to start, that's what I'm here for. I'm here as a resource, right? I help people, companies, hotels all the time, kind of get out of their way. And when I say be consistent, you got to start somewhere. So you start wherever you are. Okay, when you want to start this brand, I want to start my brand, my personal brand. I don't care where you are. I don't care who's above you or who's below you. Doesn't matter. You start where you are. I didn't wait for somebody to come and tell me. I didn't say, oh God, when this person gets here, then I'll start. No, I just started when I got in my mind, like, hey, I want to start this brand. I got to do something here, right? And I didn't look at it like I'm starting a brand anyway. I said, hey, I'm going to start this business and I want people to know what I do. What's the best way for me to do that? Social media, right? There you go. There you go. So boom, let me get off of that. Because shoot, I've been talking too long on that one topic. But anyway, who am I? What do I do? What is this? Okay, hold on 1 second. Someone's making a comment. Great info you are sharing. You never know who needs it. You're absolutely right. Miss Janie Parrish, you're absolutely right. You never know who needs to hear it. Yeah, and I never know what I'm going to say. So that's another thing, right? But it's based on, see, the stuff is based on engagement, right? So you guys are engaging with me, and I appreciate that, and that gives me stuff, more stuff to talk about. Although I didn't, not that I didn't have enough to talk about already, but it gives me more fuel to talk about, right? So I appreciate the comments, I really do. So keep them coming. So people ask, what do you do? Who are you? Whatever. Okay, I do hotel site selection. That what the two main things are in, was that purple, hotel site selection and content creating. That's the two main things that I do. But hotel site selection, assisting companies and organizations with finding that right hotel for their meeting, their conference, their convention, their retreat, all that stuff. Doesn't matter the market segment, because hotels will separate things in the market segment. Corporate, is it leisure? Is it sports? Is it SMERF? SMERF stands for social, military, educational, religious, fraternal. It doesn't matter what it is, right? Whatever group. My groups come in all shapes and sizes, right? But a group is 10 rooms or more. So my job is to assist them with finding the right hotel in that destination that they chose for me, or they chose that they're going to have their meeting in, right? So content creating also is creating content. Who's it creating content for, you may ask? It's creating content for me because this is the brand. I'm the brand, right? But I'm a brand show off. So in the background, I'm showing off things that you probably don't even know what I'm showing off, right? I'm showing off a destination, which is Greenville, South Carolina. And I'm also showing off a hotel, which is called the Grand Bohemian Lodge, which is to the right. When this pans over right there to the right, boom. That's the Grand Bohemian Lodge, okay? So that's two things, and the city of Greenville is in the background, right? I'm not sure exactly. I think there's another hotel in the background, but I'm not sure what that is. But I'm showing off the destination, Greenville, South Carolina. I'm showing off the Grand Bohemian Lodge, which is a hotel, great hotel, built in 2022. And I'm showing off the brand Russell of Hotels, right? So boom. So I create content for whoever needs creating content for. Oh, full of information. Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm full of something, that's for sure. So who's your best brand advocate? Okay, with all this branding and all that stuff, who is your best brand advocate? Now, I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to think about it, because you should know already. You are your best brand advocate. You're the one that has to be out there shaking the pom-poms. I didn't say shake your pom-poms. I'm saying shake the pom-poms, okay? Because you see things on social media. The stuff that really sticks on social media is the stuff that, if you're a star, okay, if you're an actor, whatever, okay, people are going to follow you, all right? If you're out there showing TNA and all that stuff, of course, you're shaking your pom-poms, you're shaking your pom-poms. Of course, they're going to be all over that, right? And that's how people get attention, right? So they're like, oh my God, I need some attention. I'm not doing this for attention. I'm doing this because there's someone out there, regardless if it's a small group of people, there's someone out there that's interested in hotels, meetings, or how to start a business, or how you start your brand, right? Okay, with some substance. Okay, hopefully this stuff is there's substance behind this. It's not just me. I mean, I can easily take my shirt off, right? I don't know what that would do, but I can easily do that, right? So, but that's not what my brand is all about, right? Your values have to align with what you're doing or what you're talking about, right? Okay, so you got to be. When I say I'm not, be yourself, right? You still got to be yourself, right? If that's who you are, showing all that stuff, then that's fine, right? If that's who you are and that aligns with your values, that's fine. But that stuff doesn't align with me. That's why I'm saying don't try to be someone else. Be you, right? Whatever you bring to the table, that's what you bring to the table. But staying relevant, I've got a couple things on staying relevant. So let's get to it. And all the while, I'm showing hotels in the background. So this is the AC Hotel, which is in Greenville, South Carolina as well. So number one, continuous market research. I have to continuously see what's going on in the hotel market, not just here in LA, but anywhere I may have a meeting and things like that. So I got to stay on top of a lot of different things, because I don't just, when I say I plan meetings or do content creating, I'm doing it in various places throughout the U.S., if not other countries as well, right? So I have to continuously see what's going on in these particular markets, because I never know when someone's going to ask me a question about, hey, you know what? We're thinking about, doing something out in South Carolina, buying a hotel in South Carolina. Do you know anything about that? Can you give me some information? Or we have this hotel and I need someone to do some market research, right? Well, my job is to kind of do that. But regardless of where it is, if I'm hired to do something, then I got to figure it out, right? So there you go. Number two, adaptability and innovation. Yeah, you got to adapt to what's going on. Whatever's going on, the new trends or whatever, any innovation, you got to know those things. AI is taking over. No, AI has already been here. It already took over, right? So you got to be up on those things. What's going on with AI in hotels? Well, I can tell you a couple things. Number three, strong online presence. Doing On Air with Russell of Hotels and the daily check-in is a strong online presence. So you can't guess and say, well, I never see you. You can't be out there you never see Russell. Well, yeah, I'm there. It's just maybe you're not following me. Maybe you're not looking on the right platforms. Well, I'm doing 5 platforms. I don't see why you couldn't see me, right? But I do these things for the people that don't see me or for the people that don't know what I do, right? Okay, number 4, authentic brand storytelling. I just said that, right? Didn't I just say tell your story? Let people know exactly where you came from, what you do now. What was your journey? Was it an easy journey? Heck no, it wasn't easy. Was it worthwhile? Yeah, definitely worthwhile. Okay. Now, what do you do now? I travel around the United States, right? Someone asked me to come around to do these trips and to come and look at this destination or this hotel, whatever. Yeah, those are things that I do now, and that's part of my job, right? So, number 5, customer engagement and feedback. Always take feedback from people. Ask for it, solicit it. Okay, when I do a meeting or for someone, or if I do a project for a company, or organization, an individual, whatever, I always ask for feedback. Well, what'd you think? Well, maybe you could have done it faster. Whatever the feedback is, accept the feedback and try to be better. If it was perfect, give me something. I mean, what could I improve on? You always can improve on something, right? So, and don't take it as negative, right? If you ask for it, just be expecting to hear, always expect to hear the worst, right? That's what I do. If I ask for it, I'm expecting to hear the worst, right? So, but that's how I get to know my clients, right? Because if I failed, maybe not fail, but maybe I did something and that they didn't particularly like, they'll tell me at the end, right? Well, we like this, but we didn't like that. I don't like these particular types of hotels. Right now, case in point, right? I have a client, right, that's looking on and I mentioned this before, East Coast or Southeast region, right, for a meeting. 50 people, right? Well, they're not looking for a traditional hotel. They're not looking for a boutique hotel. They're looking for something that's real rustic, out in the middle of nowhere, kind of like glamping, okay? So I have to find something that's kind of in that realm, right? And they're not looking for a traditional hotel that has your, meeting room and you have your guest rooms and the restaurant. They're not looking for, they're looking for something rustic, something out of the middle of the road, off the middle of the road. Yeah, that's what they're looking for. I mean, there's no other way I can tell you. So the traditional hotels that I showed her, that I presented to her, she said, no. Yeah, you're the one that found our last location. We want something like that. So I'm like, on the East Coast? Are you sure? So I had to go back. I got to go back to the drawing board, right? And find something that they're actually looking for. So, I mean, that's feedback, right? I asked for it and I got it. And she was, not shy about telling me, no. You got to start this over. So there you go. So if you ask for feedback, expect it. Let's see, what did Janie say? Don't be something or someone you're not. Yes, be you. Be you. No one could be you but you. Remember that song? No one could be you but you. I can't remember who. Slave? I think it was Slave. Okay, that was a group. Okay, the group was called Slave back in the day. All right, so I think that's what that was. But anyway, look it up. Somebody Google it and see. And I'm pretty sure it's right. So, and collaborate. All that, how to keep your brand relevant. Collaborate and partner with Russell of Hotels, right? So if you can't do all these things, because sometimes we're tied up with our job, right? Our main job, that we need assistance, right? I'm here to collaborate with whoever needs collaboration within the world of hotels and CVBs and destinations and tourism and things like that. So yeah, so collaborate and partner with me, and I can assist you. We can go through this stuff. Not a problem. Okay, so real quick, because we're really coming down to the wire. So who's hiring? Oh, I made some chili today, some vegan chili, right? So that's what I'm having today. Today is Tuesday. You know, normally it's Taco Tuesday, but I mean, my thing's not working. Why is my thing not working? Oh, there it goes. My thing. Oh, that was a good one. So yeah, so I made some vegan chili. Okay, so that's what I'm doing today. It's actually pretty good too. Oh my god. Oh, spicy. I love spicy. So who's hiring? Real quick. Okay, so there's two jobs that I found. This is in the greater LA area. Well, actually, one's in Long Beach and one is in Burbank. Okay, which are close to LA, like 20, 30 minutes outside of Los Angeles. So Hotel Maya in Long Beach. I love this hotel. One of my favorite hotels. I think it's my favorite hotel in Long Beach. And I like it because of the views, okay? Unobstructed views of the skyline and the water and the marina, and you can see the Queen Mary and Carnival Cruise Line. It's right across from there, right? You can see all that stuff. In fact, you can do a jet ski excursion from the Maya, right? You can do a jet ski excursion from the Maya Hotel to Catalina Island. I think that is the dopest thing. I'm gonna do it one day. I just haven't got enough courage to do it yet, but I'm gonna do it. So sounds really good on a. Oh yeah, that was the reason why I made the chili. There you go. Steve Arrington and Slade. See, didn't I just say that, Marsha? See, y'all just think I just be talking up here, right? I remember my stuff. No one could be but you. So okay, who's hiring? Hotel Maya, they're looking for a dorm. You know what a dorm is? That's another acronym, Director of Revenue Management. That's what a dorm is. Okay, that's the hotel people knew that. All right. There's a couple of people out there like dorm. What is that? That's a place you stay on the college campus. The dorm? I stayed in a dorm. What do you mean? No, that's an acronym, Director of Revenue Management. So the Hotel Maya in Long Beach is looking for that, and then the Hotel Burbank. Guess where that's located? You're right. It's in Burbank. So Hotel Burbank is looking for a director of sales and marketing. Okay, so there you go. There you go. Let's see, where are we at now? Where are we now? So yeah, so this is my room at the Hyatt Regency. I think I showed this last week, but nice little room. You know, it's kind of tight. I like the trend is now to get rid of the carpet, right? So when hotels are doing renovation, a lot of them are getting rid of the carpet. The only suggestion I have for when you get rid of the carpet, make sure people are paying attention. Your housekeepers, the room attendants are paying attention to the corners of the room because dust does tend to accumulate when there's no carpet there, right? And you know those handheld like vacuums that have of course, the little corner attachment on it. You need one of those because even sometimes the broom doesn't get you miss some of those little they call them dust bunnies, you know, whatever. I don't know where that came from, but yeah, the little dust that accumulates in the corner, you need one of those things to get that dust out because as nice as that room was, from what I understand, I got one of the renovated rooms. Some other people didn't get a renovated room. But as nice as it is, there was a little dust that I saw that was accumulating under the bed because the beds were on platforms. So yeah, so just make sure that's hotels that are listening to this. If you've gone away from carpet, make sure they're paying special attention to the corners of the rooms because dust does tend to accumulate. Okay, we're almost at the end. So we're at the 3Ps. So good. This is the Russell of Hotels 3Ps: purpose, passion, perseverance. Purpose. Know why you do what you do, right? Know why I come on here and do this. I'm trying to build a brand, right? So this is one of the reasons why I'm on 5 days a week, right? I'm doing something live 5 days a week. And these are live, right? So meaning, you know why I do lives? Let me tell you this. This is real simple. Russell, why do you always do a live, right? There's no take two. I can't stop the button and say, you know what, let's start over. No. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake, okay? The error is human. That's all right. But the big reason why I don't, that I do lives is that I don't like editing. It's not that I can't edit. I don't like it, right? It takes too much time, right? So I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to start doing lives, and however they come out, they come out. Okay. There's still music on the beginning and on the end, right? So normally, you would, if there's any like airtime or whatever, like dead air, you want to edit that stuff out, right? Well, I don't have any dead air because I keep talking, right? So that's like a rule of thumb, any kind of media, right? If you're talking, whatever, you don't want to stop talking and have this dead air. It's unexplainable. They're like, well, what happened? Do I need to stop this? You know what I mean? So, let's see. Somebody made a comment, but it might have something to do with the fact that they're fluffy, quiet, and tend to multiply rapidly. Oh, you're talking about the dust bunnies. Okay. All right. That could have something to do with that. You're absolutely right, Marsh. I didn't think about that, but thanks for letting me know. Appreciate that. So anyway, so purpose, know why you do what you do. I do this, the dust bunnies. Yeah, I got you. I do this to, like I said, to continue to build a brand, let people know what I do, let people know how I can help them, right? So always make sure you, mention these three things as well, or you let people know who you are, what you do, and how you can help, right? So you guys know what I do because I told you earlier how I can help, like meeting planning, or hotel site selection, how I can help with that. How can I help that person is I take that part of the site selection off their desk, right? They can concentrate on the content of the meetings because I don't do that. You work for the company, you're the meeting planner for the company. You work on the content. I'll help you find the location, I'll create the RFP, help you with the contract, make sure all the terms and conditions are in there. And all you do is sign it. And of course, you got to pay for it. And then we keep it moving, right? So, but that's one less thing you got to worry about. Content creating, basically, I take that off your desk as well, right? So if you're not good at creating your own content, I can create it for you, right? I'll live at your hotel and understand exactly how everything operates. Because in order for someone to do content, you got to really know that particular. I'm gonna use the hotel as an example. You really have to know the hotel. You just can't just start creating content not knowing anything about the area that you're in. You can tell me anything over the phone, right? But if I'm not there to kind of live it and experience it for myself, I'm just, pissing in the wind. Does that make sense? Anyway, but yeah, so you have to kind of experience what's going on. And like I mentioned before, any hotel, any destination I show on this show that I talk about, or it's a backdrop for my show like this, the guest room at the Grand Bohemian, I've been there. I stayed there, I've experienced it, right? So that's why I'm able to show this stuff. That's why I'm able to talk about these certain things, right? Because I've experienced them. Now, if I don't experience it, if someone just sends me photos and videos, I'm never going to show those because I didn't experience them. I wasn't there. So I actually have to be there in order for me. I'll never show anything. I'll never talk about anything. Well, I'll talk about something, but I'm never gonna show anything and talk about like as if I've been there unless I've actually been there. Because I think that's wrong if you do that, right? Isn't it? I don't know. People do it all the time, but I don't do it. Okay. So anyway, passion. Either you have it or you don't. If you don't have passion for what you do, you know what you should do? Do something else. Perseverance. Be consistent. Continue to evolve. Don't give up and swerve when you need to. We don't pivot here on Air with Russell of Hotels. We swerve. Okay. We see things in the horizon. We don't go through them and get stuck and like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? I got to pivot. No. We see things in the horizon, and instead of going through them, we swerve around it. That's the difference between, swerving and pivoting. Just in case you wanted to know, you probably didn't ask, but I told you anyway. Let's see. It's another Grand Bohemian. This is part of their, not a bar. I guess it can be. It's meeting space. Let's just say event space. And then once again, Level Hotel. Thank you so much, Level Hotel. Craig Satimo. He's a general manager there. And they're all about, being my partner. So I appreciate that. So stayinglevel.com is the website. Use that promo code ROH23 and you get the discount that I get. Now, how do you get a hold of me? If you have any questions at all, breaks over, back to work, let me educate the children and just not your audience. No, I appreciate that, Marsha. Thank you so much for coming on. Get back to the kids. We appreciate that. I put your comment up there. So yeah, teach the kids. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Okay. so, so there you go. So questions, email me at russellofhotels.com. That is my email. I look at that, every minute almost. So if you have questions, I am a resource. Reach out to me and I'll answer those questions. If you want to call me, you can do that. My phone number is on my website. That's russellofhotels.com. That's my website. My phone number is there along with this email address, right? So in any social media platform that has, instant message or DMs, you can just slide in there and ask me questions, okay? And I definitely will answer those questions for you. But anyway, that is it. Thank you guys so much. I went a couple minutes over, but that's okay, right? Sometimes that happens. But anyway, I think I was a couple minutes late anyway, so I think I'm good, right? I think I'm good. So anyway, you guys have a great day. Thank you guys so much. Have a great week. Appreciate you guys. And remember, I do the daily check-in tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. So Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I do the daily check-in on air at Russell Hotels. It's once a week, do it every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. So anyway, you stay safe as well, Janie, and everyone else out there, especially if you're in LA with all this rain. I can hear the rain, so it's still pretty steady. So you guys have a great day, great week, and we will see you again tomorrow. We love you tomorrow. You know why we love tomorrow? Because you're always a day away. So until then, peace.
Thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels. Please tune in every Tuesday at 1 p.m. as we talk to other hospitality professionals. Your feedback is important to Russell. Feel free to email him at russell@russellofhotels.com with any questions or suggestions. Until next time, try not to be a person of success. Rather, become a person of great value.